Here are more detailed points on the Trudeau-India relationship, particularly in the context of the recent tensions. 6. Canada's Sikh diaspora and political influence. Canada is home to one of the largest Sikh populations outside of India, with over 770,000 Canadians identifying as Sikh according to the 2021 census. This community is politically active and influential, particularly in regions such as British Columbia and Ontario. Sikh politicians, including cabinet ministers in Trudeau's government like Jagmeet Singh, leader of the New Democratic Party, NDP, play a significant role in Canadian politics. Some Sikh groups in Canada openly support the Khalistan movement, which complicates Canada's relationship with India. India has expressed frustration with Canada's perceived tolerance of pro-Khalistan activities, viewing it as a national security threat. Canada, on the other hand, frames the issue as one of free speech, arguing that advocacy for Khalistan is within the legal rights of its citizens. 7. Past diplomatic incidents. Tensions between Trudeau and India have simmered in the past. During Trudeau's visit to India in 2018, he was criticized for attending events where figures linked to the Khalistan movement were present, including Jaspal Atwal, a convicted Sikh extremist who was controversially invited to a reception. The Indian government expressed displeasure, and the visit was widely regarded as diplomatically awkward. Trudeau had to clarify his government's stance, asserting that Canada does not support separatism, but the incident left lasting friction between the two countries. 8. Human rights concerns and mutual criticism. Canada and India have also clashed over human rights issues. Canada has raised concerns about human rights in India, particularly in relation to issues like the treatment of minorities, the situation in Kashmir, and farmers' protests in 2020 to 2021. Trudeau publicly supported the rights of Indian farmers during the massive protests against agricultural reforms, drawing ire from the Indian government. In turn, India has criticized Canada for its handling of issues like Islamophobia, its treatment of Indigenous peoples, and the rise of hate crimes within the country. Both sides have used human rights concerns as points of criticism, which has added strain to bilateral relations. 9. Visa and diplomatic restrictions. In the wake of Trudeau's accusations in 2023, India responded by suspending visa services for Canadian citizens, citing security concerns at its Canadian consulates. This move affected thousands of people, especially those with family or business ties between the two countries. Canada also recalled dozens of diplomats from India due to security concerns and tensions between the two governments. These moves further disrupted the ease of travel, education, and business between the nations, creating long-term uncertainties for people-to-people exchanges. 10. Impact on broader international relations. The deteriorating relationship between Canada and India has reverberated internationally. India's rise as a global power, coupled with its strategic importance in the Indo-Pacific region, has made its ties with Western nations more critical. Any rift between India and a major Western country like Canada could impact global diplomatic alignments. The US, UK, and other Western nations have been closely watching the developments. While none have publicly taken sides in the dispute, some analysts speculate that Trudeau's allegations, if further substantiated, could lead to wider diplomatic fallout, potentially affecting India's ties with other countries. 11. India's domestic politics and the global stage. For India, being accused of involvement in extraterritorial killings is a sensitive issue, especially under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Modi's government, which has positioned itself as a nationalist and strong government, is wary of both domestic and international repercussions. Allegations of extrajudicial operations in foreign nations could affect India's image on the global stage. Domestically, however, Modi's government has strong support from Indian nationalists who see Khalistan as a grave threat. By standing firm against Trudeau's allegations, Modi's government has rallied domestic political support, presenting itself as uncompromising in defending India's territorial integrity. 12. Long-term implications for trade and investment. Canada and India's trade relationship, though not as developed as some other bilateral ties, has potential for growth. In 2022, the two countries resumed negotiations for a Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, CEPA, after years of delays. The recent diplomatic row has cast doubt on the future of such agreements, which could have lasting impacts on industries such as technology, agriculture, and energy. Canadian businesses with investments or operations in India, and vice versa, may face uncertainties in the wake of diplomatic tensions. While both governments have sought to maintain business relations separately from political disputes, ongoing hostilities could impact investor confidence and the flow of trade. 13. Possibility of mediation and resolution. Several experts believe that a resolution to the diplomatic crisis could come through back-channel diplomacy. International actors such as the United States or global organizations may play a role in mediating between the two countries to de-escalate tensions. However, given the seriousness of the allegations, any rapprochement would likely require significant diplomatic efforts and reassurances on issues like extremist activities, human rights, and mutual respect for sovereignty. In summary, the Trudeau-India relationship has entered a complex phase, driven by a mix of domestic political pressures, international diplomacy, and broader geopolitical considerations. The resolution of these issues will likely require time, effort, and possibly third-party intervention, with lasting implications for both countries' global standing.